Baby, you want baby. I know that. Bad news. Gennady Golovkin's trainer, longtime trainer. Hell no, guys, have maxes, guys, or nothing. Abel Sanchez says that basically Crawford is too small for Canelo Alvarez, and that ultimately the fight will resemble a sparring session at the end of the day because of this. Listen, I'm just a messenger. Let's go. So right now you guys see it. Legendary trainer slams Terence Crawford. Quote, it will be a sparring session for Saul Canelo Alvarez. Coach Abel Sanchez dismissed Crawford's chance against Canelo. And it's really because of the weight gain. Renowned Mexican trainer Abel Sanchez has reignited the hype surrounding Canelo Crawford, scheduled September 13th, Las Vegas. Speaking to the ring, Gennady Golovkin trainer says, quote, Crawford is a great fighter, but that's why weight divisions exist. Canelo has proven that when he moves up, he faces and beats the best in each category. Neither Bivol could hurt him, nor could my fighter in 2 fights. And he's talking about Golovkin. And even though Canelo and Golovkin fought 3 times, Abel did not train him for the 3rd fight. It was Jonathan Banks. So that's why he said in the 2 fights that he's familiar with, he's saying that Golovkin never really hurt Canelo. The weight jump, the big disadvantage. Crawford, undefeated record. He's 41-0, 31 knockouts. Agreed to move up to 168, blah, blah, blah. And he says, quote, if Crawford had taken 3 or 4 years to gain strength and mass properly, he would have a better chance. But doing it in just over a year is too risky. He'll be slower and Canelo will dictate the pace. Now, this is a recent picture of Crawford, who definitely looks in shape. And, you know, that's what we come to expect from a guy like Crawford. But the bulk that we've seen, and I have to make a separate video, the bulk we've seen from Crawford doesn't look as apparent as a couple weeks ago. Rightfully so, because he's about to fight Canelo. So instead of bulking up, now he has to descend down and make that cut. It says warrior mentality, blah, blah, blah. Sanchez was even more blunt in predicting the outcome. He says, quote, after the 5th or 6th round, this is going to look like a sparring session. Canelo will do whatever he wants in the ring. Despite the criticism, the fight is still considered an important fight, yada, yada, yada. Listen, it's so funny to me when your boy Ego says similar stuff, I'm the bad guy, right? When I say it, I'm the problem. But hey, I love it. It comes with the territory. Listen, Abel Sanchez is not saying anything that I haven't said. There's a lot of people who opine on boxing and they're giving their opinion. And in my opinion, they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of people, their opinion is based on feelings, emotion. Emotion, mate. It's just emotional, right? There's a lot of people who are saying like, oh, Crawford looks just as big as Canelo. He does from just a pure eye test, height, stuff like that. But you have to understand what I am saying. And I am so good at what I do that I promise you I'm about to say something and I guarantee you nobody will be able to refute or intelligently speak to what I'm about to say and explain it. So for the people who are saying that, oh, Crawford's just as big, da, 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 da. 2 questions. 1, Crawford is on record saying, why would I fight David Benavidez? He was just at 168, but he's saying, why would he was on Henry Cejudo and Usman, their podcast. He said, why would I fight Benavidez? That's too much weight. I might as well move up to heavyweight. So that right there, to me, is an admission that Terence Crawford knows there's limitations to this. He's not really a super middleweight. He is what he calls, like, it's an advanced cherry pick. It's not saying that Canelo is a horrible fighter or anything, but Canelo's the shortest. He also started at like 47, 54. So he came from the lighter divisions where Crawford has at least fought, you know what I mean? 54 and 47, stuff like that. So he believes that if there's a guy that he can beat, and Canelo has been on the decline, and Canelo has slow feet. So if there were ever a super middleweight that represented a money fight that he thinks he can beat, he thinks it's Canelo, period, right? So that's one question. Why won't, like, if you ask any Bud Crawford fan to have Bud fight David Benavidez or David Morrell or Andrade or anybody like that, they say, oh man, you just want Crawford to lose. But then in the same breath, these guys are saying weight don't matter. Mean Machine just did a video the other day and he did an interview and he said weight don't matter. Weight won't matter. Weight doesn't matter if you got the skill. Okay, so then why not fight Benavidez? How come when Boxing Ego or Floyd Mayweather did an interview and Floyd said that Crawford should fight David Benavidez, people said Floyd was hating and Floyd just wants to see Crawford lose. But I thought weight didn't matter. So you guys are already proving my point, right? The other thing, when it comes to the weight don't matter and, you know, disregarding what I'm saying, disregarding what Abel Sanchez is saying they look the same size, all these types of things. The other issue with that is the mere fact of, if that is the case and this is a good fit for Crawford, then why hasn't he been fighting at 168? Just answer that question, right? To all the people who are saying that weight don't matter and Crawford is going to whoop Canelo and knock him out and all that type of stuff, cool. So if you're capable of doing that, then I feel like he's an undisputed champion at 168. He's accomplished, more accomplished than you are. So if this is in fact the case, why haven't you been fighting in the 160s if this is your real division? So I'm not convinced this particular fight is a forced fight, and Bud is hoping that Crawford is hoping that Canelo is a regressed version of him because he hasn't really looked great versus William School, and he couldn't stop guys like John Ryder, Berlanga. So Crawford's trying his luck, and at the end of the day, he knows he's getting paid. Canelo, he's making probably $100 million or better for this particular fight. So it's kind of all about the money. That's why I'm not really vested. I agree with what Abel Sanchez is saying in terms of, it's the same thing I've said. Crawford, if he did a tune-up, if he wasn't inactive, if he moved up in what I believe, and obviously Abel Sanchez believes is the right way, then you give yourself a better fighting chance. Now it's just a shot in the dark. You have one night, and if you get it right, you get it right and you win. And if you don't, then, hey, you tried and you made a lot of money. That's it. But I don't like fights like that. I want to see, like, if you have a real super fight, you don't have to force it. You don't have to force the conversation. Everybody naturally just wants to see it. That's why this is not a super fight to me. People are hyping it up because it has two names that we respect, but it's not a super fight, right? David Benavidez and Canelo would be a super fight, right? I personally would rather see Virgil Ortiz and Crawford, Murtazaev and Crawford, Jermell Charlo and Crawford, or Jaron Boots Ennis and Crawford. That's my honest opinion, right? Or Fundora and Crawford. These fights seem like more realistic, but it is what it is. People are putting up the money for this fight, so we just got to suffer through it. But, you know, Crawford moving up. I mean, this is Crawford's form for his last fight with Madrimov, and he looked absolutely dialed in. Now he's expected to gain another 14, 15 pounds or so to fight Canelo, who's been fighting at this division for 9+ years, right? And I get it, Crawford's a talent and he wants to prove he's special. But for me, I feel like if Crawford like destroys Canelo, it's more of the timing of where Canelo's at in his career. That's what I truly believe. You could believe whatever you want, but that's what I honestly believe. That's why I wouldn't have made this particular fight, and I don't think this fight is worth the money that they're putting out for the salaries. Let me know what you think. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.